A lot of men are not really honest about what actually keeps them interested in a woman long term, or why they fall for a certain woman and not another one. What they say they want is often totally different from reality. But if we're honest, it's the same for a lot of women. When I read magazines for men as a teenager and I opened the dating section where women were asked what they looked for in a man to start a relationship with, 99.9% of the time these women answered, well, I'm looking for a respectful man, a kind man, a man with a great sense of humor, an honest man. And so as a teenager I wondered, humor, honesty, kindness, so why does it seem like the kind of man a lot of women really fall hard for has totally different qualities that seem much more important? Like, he has to have a certain height, great looks, confidence and assertiveness, a high social status. He should also be very exciting, and other things not on the first list. Those were the features that actually made women fall for a man. And as a teenager, I didn't get that. Why were they saying one thing but then doing something totally different? And back then, I also didn't get why nice guys finish last, especially in relationships. Are nice guys not kind? If kindness and humor are so important, funny nice guys should have so many women to go out with, they would get burned out from going on all those dates. But they don't, because their evenings are, well, pretty uneventful. Now, the reason these women said one thing but did something else is actually very simple. They were explaining what they thought they wanted, rationally, but what they truly responded to, on an almost primal level, was often a totally different man. And not just when dating, in long-term relationships as well. Humor and kindness are usually not enough to make long-term relationships last either. And men are of course no different. Men often say they want one thing, but what actually keeps them truly interested long-term is something else entirely. So let's talk about it. My name is Geert, I'm an author. I also go by the pen name Brian Knox. I write about dating, relationships and other topics, and here's the thing. We often like to think we are rational creatures, not driven by primal desires, and that our subconscious mind has nothing to say, but it does, and that primal part of us is still very much alive too. For example, a lot of men, on paper, if they were interviewed for a women's magazine, would say they are looking for an independent woman. But in reality, independent women often have a much harder time in their love life than their less independent counterparts, and I will dig deeper into this one later in the video. Low drama, another thing a lot of men say they want. And of course, it is important, but many low drama women who try to keep their opinions and standards to themselves have of course noticed they get treated like a doormat and are then ghosted by men who then fall for a higher drama woman who represents a challenge. So what's going on here? Well, it's because what we are attracted to as humans is not fully linked to what would make us happy and what we think we want. And like it or not, primal attraction plays a huge role in relationships, for both men and women. So here are some things men are deeply attracted to and find really important, but may never admit out loud. And one of them might blow your mind. A very strong one is that most men absolutely love it when the woman they like expresses genuine desire for them. Physical desire. And this is so strong that almost everything a man does as soon as the hormones kick in during his teenage years is actually to be desired by others. Almost everything. And many scientists have talked about it. Sigmund Freud, Charles Darwin, and a scientist I find very interesting, Geoffrey Miller, who wrote the book The Mating Mind. He even said that many of the traits men have were not developed for survival, but for attracting a mate. And I think that's even clearly visible in the daily activities of men. Look at a lot of guys in the gym. They're not working out and building muscle to fight and survive. The apocalypse is probably not coming. They want to feel more attractive and create desire in the people they are into. And they hope muscles will do that. Other men hope earning lots of money will do it, and so on. And like some of these scientists claim, it's not always conscious. Sometimes it's primal. So if you want his eyes to light up and increase his attraction towards you, give him hints of your genuine desire. Genuine, because fake desire is of course a huge turnoff, and just hints. Not too much. Don't be an open book. Because another thing men are very attracted to, but rarely admit, is a woman who represents a challenge, who doesn't give everything at once. He must earn her love and her attention and her desire. Have you ever seen a man buy a Porsche or a supercar? When the car is ready, a lot of the dealerships will have the car in a very special room with a silk cover over it. So when the man walks in, He can't even see the car, just the silhouette. Strange, right? Why hide the car? Well, guess what this does? It builds the anticipation and the desire even more. And then they take the cover off and finally reveal the car. And the guy just goes, oh. And depending on how long he saved up for that car, this might be one of the only times you will ever see him cry. Desire is built through anticipation. So as soon as you find out what he really likes, play with this principle. Allow the anticipation to build. Let him work for it a bit. Tease him a bit. Make sure it stays special. So don't overdo it. Because when we get too much of something great, it's no longer special. Anyway, here's another one most men find very important, while a lot of them will never admit it. Men want a woman who desires them, and they will work hard to get there, but what they secretly want most is a woman who stays loyal, a woman who stays just as interested when he's down, when he's weak, when he loses his job, when he loses his money or his muscles or his social status. A woman who will still stand by him then. And a secret fear a lot of men carry is that she won't. And what you may not know is that a lot of men try to evaluate their girlfriend for this one deep secret desire. And you actually see this in some of those silly romantic movies where a prince, for example, tries to find the wife, but she cannot know he's a prince. She has to fall for him without the title. So he hides it. It's the only way he can be sure that she truly loves him, deep down, when the money, the fame, and the castles are gone. But all jokes aside, this is a real thing. Men watch very closely how you treat them when they are not at their best. They will try to figure out why you are falling for them, what the real reason is. And if they like the answer, it creates a deep emotional bond. And this, by the way, is also one of the reasons men lose interest fast if a woman shows too much interest too soon. Because then they know she's not falling for them. She's falling for the status or the money or something else. Now let's go back to that whole independent woman thing. Most men do love a strong woman. A woman who knows who she is, who has her own life, her own mind, who doesn't need a man. But a secret desire a lot of men have is for their girlfriend or wife to surrender a little. Which means many things, like letting him lead at times and trusting he will do that well, that he's capable of being a leader. It's showing him you don't always need to be in control because you trust him. And just that can awaken something ancient in a man, something primal. It makes him feel needed in the best possible way. And it could be something as simple as showing him you are afraid of something and asking for his help, like letting him handle that mouse you heard in the kitchen, or letting him take the lead in a tough decision that involves both of you, or telling him you are worried about something, and this time not just asking him to listen, but to actually come up with a solution. And all of that because you trust he can take care of things. Strong, independent women are not the problem. The problem is when they never show their soft side, when they constantly want to be in control, and in doing that, they show they don't trust him to handle things. And now because of that, he never really gets to step into his masculine energy, which makes him feel very small. But strong women who do show their soft side, who let a man lead at times, not always, just sometimes is enough, that's a very powerful aphrodisiac. And not just physically, but emotionally too. And it's also a huge sign of respect, something men openly want in a partner. So I wonder, during your relationships with men, what have you found they are really attracted to that some women may not know about? Please let us know in the comments. I would love to hear it. I also hope you appreciated this video. If you want more, you can come over to brianknox.com or go to Amazon and type my pen name Brian Knox in the search box. You will then get a list of all of my books. And hey, you're still here at the very end of the video. That's a not so secret desire of me that I could keep you entertained until the very end. So thank you for still being here. I love it when you do that. And I hope to see you in another video.